What's up, guys? It's the Vinlander, back with another video. And what you're seeing in the thumbnail there is how the United States and other Western countries could look in the next 20 to 30 years if we do not get our shit together. And what I'm talking about is total decay, total destruction of all of our cities that our people built with pride and glory, being destroyed by a group of individuals who I would not even consider to be human. And everywhere that they go in the world, they destroy it. These assholes could fuck up a one-car funeral. And a lot of them tend to have names like, Aquarius or Levante or whatever else you want to put out there. You know exactly who I am talking about. And, you know, other places, it's interesting when you look to other places in the world because it can show you how bad your country could become if you let it get the way that theirs are. And I think a prime example of that is Brazil. Every time I see a video about Brazil here on YouTube, it's literally about some mass shootout between police and drug dealers, and it results in like over 100 people dying at a time. That's nuts. You know, there's actually more murders in a lot of Brazilian cities than there is in like actual war zones. Like, less people die in Iran and Afghanistan on a daily basis compared to these places in Brazil. They call them favelas, all right? And the first time I saw one of these places was as a kid when I was playing MW2. There's that mission called Takedown. Really fun mission, by the way. But, you know, I didn't really realize the severity of those because I was a kid. I was 13 years old playing a video game, having fun, popping drug dealers. It was pretty cool. I was like, hey, this is fun. But yeah, that place is more than just one. There's not just one of them. There's like thousands of them with millions of people that live there. And the police, when they go there, it looks the exact same way that it does in the video game. You have a task force that goes in there and they just clean house. Yeah, because they have to. Because everybody is armed. And then you have people that are part of the general population of Brazil who are outraged by the fact that Tyrone and his homies got smoked when they were doing some pretty bad shit. Why should we feel bad for people who do nothing more than try to destroy our countries? You know, Brazil used to be a good country. It has what I like to call South Africa syndrome. If you take a look at any city in Brazil back in like the 1950s, looks pretty good. There was a more, majority European population back then than there is now. And South Africa is similar. Take a look at Johannesburg in the 50s and compare it to now. A lot of these places are in ruin, and the reason for that is because there is less and less of the native population there. You realize that, right? Replacement often causes destruction, especially when it is third worlders who are replacing you. People who have no values. People who, in my opinion, I think we should use the word people loosely, because a lot of them don't act like people. They act like animals. I've actually seen dogs and cats that have more impulse control than some of these bastards. And it's just an embarrassment, because places like Brazil and South Africa, they used to be tourist destinations. A lot of people used to go there to Rio and go to the beaches and go to Johannesburg for nice, parties. A lot of the rich people would bring their yachts there and stuff. Nowadays, you don't want to do that, because if you do that now, you're risking your life. If you go to Rio de Janeiro and go on the beach, somebody's going to try and rob you or do something stupid, because you have to realize when you have a country that, like, literally all of the cities have slums on the outskirts, that crime doesn't just stay within the bad neighborhoods. It spills over into the good neighborhoods. You can see that here in the U.S. too. I mean, I've traveled to, quite a few different states here in the U.S. Florida, Indiana, New York, West Virginia, Maryland. Maryland's kind of a bad one, especially if you've ever been to Baltimore. I've been to Detroit before. I've been to a lot of different places, and, you know, certain areas in the main cities in these states are pretty nice. But then you look a couple streets down, and you see neighborhoods that look like a war zone. That's how it was in Detroit. I told you about that. I was at a Detroit Tigers baseball game. This is when I was a kid. I was probably like 14 years old. And when we were driving out, even my dad said it. We looked across the bridge over there on the other side of the street, and he goes, "Holy shit." He goes, "Look at that place over there." He goes, "That looks like a goddamn war zone." I'm thinking, yeah. And that's a city here in the United States where part of it looks like you could actually live in it, and the other part looks like the Eastern Front in World War II with blown up buildings and broken windows and all sorts of nasty looking places. This is the route that we are headed for if we continue to let these people live in our cities and if we continue to make excuses for their bullshit, okay? Because clearly, the people in this country are too stupid to realize the real problem. They're too stupid to realize, you know, who's really pushing the agenda of trying to humanize these absolute animals. It's a disgusting phenomenon that too many people are willing to try to see the good in things that you simply just can't. Okay, and I've never been that type of person. I'm a very cynical, negative person. But you know what? Every time I've ever been negative or cynical about something, I've always been never wrong, just early. Okay? So that's why I continue to be that way. Why should I be positive? Why should I try to say that it's not all of them when it clearly is? You know, the statistics prove it. Statistics don't lie. Numbers tell the truth. Bullshit from fake people's mouths do not. So, anyways, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.